keep happening, right? They want to have the standard of life that they have created for themselves by engaging in crimes that they mostly had to engage in because they had no choice. So what happens is society fucks up, and we don't give this group of people a chance. And then they get a chip on their shoulder and resentment. And they get out and they say, to hell with all of you and your rules. I'm going to take the lessons I've learned to doing criminal and illicit activity, and I'm going to do it better this time and make more money this time. Ethical and moral boundaries, fuck the law, just ethical and moral boundaries are getting shat on, okay? It has nothing to do with tricking or stitching or whatever the case may be, because as we all know, if you have the right dollar amount of money, there is no amount of trouble you'll get in for doing anything. I mean, you could literally do almost anything if you have the right amount of money, and you can pay everyone off for silence, and if they won't be silent, you can stand on their neck and extort. And that's what I've encountered. And this is the piece of paper that we get. Need a shower, want to work, homeless parent. It's all the same phone numbers that have been printed since 2019. We're in 2023 now. And again, my name is Heather Gillespie. You can find my Instagram, coco.chanel.ysl, and that's CHANELLE. But I've been opening Instagram accounts about this issue and reporting on this issue, among others, government corruption, corruption systemically, systemic close downs, shutdowns that the general public are not aware of, that people who are aware of have been taking advantage of, dressing up and impersonating officers, dressing up and impersonating judges, kidnapping judges for ransom. It's called political refugees. Not refugees in the sense of these people immigrated here from out of the country, but more so these people, are judges and appointed court officials who are being kidnapped and held for high ransoms. And when those ransoms are not paid, what do you think the quality of life is for those people? So what I want to really touch on and really focus on is that the resources that we have are not working, but there are solutions. And the solution is the collusion of poverty. That's the only solution. So I really want to engage with engineers and AI technologists and people who have a better understanding of the banking industry, who are not going to lie through their teeth about it, who I can trust. And when you don't have a resource like that, you sometimes have to reach out to the general public as an extended network and say, hey, there are some questions I have and I'd like answers to. And I think that it's in all of our best interest if we start finding these answers. I don't know if you guys have heard of Ethereum, Bitcoin, or any other Dogecoin, any other form of electronic payment or electronic currency, digital currency. It seems like that's the only answer, and that is a portion run by AI. So, like Xavier and I were having a conversation yesterday about artificial intelligence and AI. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out the Joe Rogan experience with Elon Musk as the guest. Elon Musk talks about AI, and he talks about the dangers and he talks about the benefits, but not all AI is, a sabotage of free will. It has to be in some capacities to get to the goal we're all trying to reach. There's a certain amount of trusting that we most definitely need to do, and understanding that there are going to be bumpy roads. But at the same time, we definitely need accountability where it should be placed for people who are being affected still to this day in a way that makes life intolerable or torturous. But if you guys check out that podcast, you'll get a much better idea and explanation of what AI is than I can explain. But there are integrations of AI, whether they come in our phone, in our car, in our wallet, in our actual wrist. I know that scares people, biometrics, things like fingerprinting and biometrics and reading your pupil, that scares people. But there are tons of different AI functions that can be integrated that can give every single person money. Can you believe that? You can wake up and just have money because you're alive. And that's the collusion of poverty that I'm discussing that will be the only answer to solving all of these problems. Once you have a significant amount of people who, before the collusion of poverty was real, we're focused on eliminating poverty and doing fraud and doing schemes and doing scams. Those are brilliant and intelligent people. But when they're focused on getting money to support other people that they love or themselves or that they care about, they can't be focused on these other issues. And the real issues that I see in society that need to be addressed can only be addressed if there are budgets to address them. Can you turn that off, please? Because I don't want them to take my TikTok down for unlicensed music while I'm talking about this. Thank you. You can put it right back on after we're done.
You should tell them about the movie we watched last night.
Yeah, I will. Now, I know a lot of people who are more traditional in their mindset are going to have a problem understanding or accepting this, but I just really encourage you guys to start listening to podcasts and start hearing about things that we're actually dealing with. Because when you live in a bubble this big of reality, but fail to acknowledge that the bubble's actually this big and even way bigger than that, you're also, kind of part of the problem. Reality for you is not the same as reality for us. Now, I want to show you guys this. This really kind lady, please don't get me wrong, because this lady is very sweet. She approached Xavier and I with some bags from the food pantry and some money. And she said, I wish I could do more. This is all I have. And this is an example of what they have given us at every single food pantry around the Chicagoland area. So we have expired bread. September 2nd is the expiration date. Expired bread, September 6th is the expiration date. Some apple sauces, some jarred, little plastic peaches, shelled walnuts, some raisins, peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, Hampton Farm, fruit spread, strawberry, pampa, and some molded fruit. And it's just very, very soft and, molded. And it's very difficult to eat. It tastes like mold. So we're not going to eat it. We have sponsors waiting for us, I think, on Harlem. Maybe before that. We'll see. No, that's south of here. Probably on the way back we could line up some sponsorship at Gina June's for sure. That's always a good one. It's a small business. And anyways, if you guys are interested, by the way, if you're in the Chicagoland area and you're interested in sponsoring some of our talks and walks, please do so. You can approach us while we're on the street. Usually Xavier's the one to approach because some people piss me off as like a sport, and then they say I'm scary to approach. I'm the nicest thing you'll ever meet, but these people have been really working my nerves lately. You have no idea. Like, someone threw pee-pee on my shoes, my only Nikes. So I'm walking around in these tall-ass boots now. I'm pushing a $200 a 200-pound cart. By the way, if anyone wants to sponsor some new Nikes from me, we're going to Harlem and Irving Plaza. I still haven't been able to order glasses for all the kids from Zenny, so you guys know there's still funding options available. If you want to sponsor us with a meal and you see us walking down the street, please, by all means, we'll accept it. We've had people drop us off filet. We've had people drop us off crab. We've had people drop us off a bag with body parts in it. Pardon me, I just choked. We've had people drop us off bags with poo-poo in it. We've had people drop us off McDonald's, Portillo's, salad. So any and all contribution to our efforts is very much appreciated. We're just genuinely walking around, driving around, bussing around, training around, flying around. The first 2 years I drove strictly. The second year I flew and drove. And the third year I was on foot. This is the fourth year, and I'm pushing this cart, so I actually have belongings that I'm forced to carry with me. Third year was bad because I was on foot, but I had a storage locker, and I was on and off Airbnb outside. This year I've been outside completely since February 14th without any inside nights. So that's rough, it's been really difficult. But the main point of this is to kind of just remind you guys that things are not okay down here. We do have people suffering. We do have people who are hungry. And the faster we can move this process along of coming to some toward, I know we have a lot of Airbus options being discussed and things like that. We really don't need to be so dramatic. We really don't. We can honestly just live our lives, with positive intentions and abundant mindsets, sponsoring, these sorts of endeavors, and then go in another room off of the live. My job can't be everything from the ground up, right? I can have involvement and give perception, but I need collaboration. So when these things are being pointed out by myself and other influencers, do something about it. If you have $100 in your bank account that you can afford to never see again, which most of us do. Most of the world is not living below the poverty line, right? I am right now because they want to know what's going on down here. But most of us are not. If you have $100 in your bank account that you can afford to spend, go give it to someone you see sitting in the street, because this moldy bread is not cutting it. It's not fucking cutting it. If your wife cooks a big dinner for the home and there's a homeless guy sitting on the corner, pack that shit up in a Tupperware and go pass it out to them. Those are not answers, for the long term. Those are answers for right now. But do what you can, and that doesn't always mean money. Just do what you can. So thank you so much to the woman who donated us this stuff. We really appreciate it, even though it's moldy and nasty. Your intention is noted. Sponsors, we're definitely hungry. I'm 5 months pregnant again, you guys, so I don't want to risk it. But the main takeaway is all the shelters, these are not shelters. Almost none of them offer shelters anymore. Now it's just food pantry days, where they give these 3 bags of moldy food and this list of resources that isn't real. I've called 311 at least 17 times in the last 4 years. They picked me up. One of those times and brought me to a rape chamber, where it was co-ed, middle-aged black men standing like this in a circle. Literally, it was disgusting. All the walls lined with plastic. I swear to God, I would never lie about this shit on everything I love. And that was the only time they've ever actually offered me assistance, and that was what it was. So I want everyone to be aware of what the fuck is going on down here. When I want to shower, we have to shower body part by body part. Sometimes we can go to North Avenue Beach. I think the water's turned off now, so we don't even have that as an option anymore. It's just been rough. I've gone to the gym. I've paid for memberships, and then I've had my money handed back to me in the form of a refund and been told, we're sorry. We were told by management to give you a refund with no other reason or rhyme. And that kind of goes into the stalking and the lawsuits that I'm filing independently, because it's one thing to ask a person for their help, especially when 99% of the time she's going to say yes. It's another thing to not give her the option and throw her into the street and abuse and use her. So again, you guys, check what's going on in your towns. If you guys are already a part of the fraud projects, the fraud outreach projects, where they're creating CPN to get funding to help people who are struggling outside in the street, good for you. Please make sure that you keep your eyes on the prize when it comes to helping and not drowning people. People are not from luxury. You don't need to put a chandelier in every fucking Airbnb. Give people what they need, and don't abuse the power that you've been given and the blessings that you've been given, because they can be taken just as quickly as they've been given. If you're in the spa every weekend and you're not doing anything to give back, because you're doing fraud. That's different than if you're a working person actually making your money and going to the spa. No one can take that from you. But if you're part of these outreach programs where you're doing radical shit to save people's lives, judges will look past that. You know, people will look past that. Society will look past that. They'll justify you having good morals and ethics and values in the way that they handle you and, you know, leaving you out. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Can you make it by? Okay, thank you. You know, they'll definitely look past that, you know, for the right reasons, but they're not going to look past you sitting in the spa while the rest of your team is walking down the street with a fucking cart, pregnant, that weighs 200 pounds. So just a friendly, not even warning, piece of advice from me to you. Everyone who does the right thing, and by right thing I mean progressing evolution and not treating your fellow you know, living humans like trash or like they're less than you. If you are a rapist or a sexual offender, there's going to be, you know, a reckoning. A reckoning. You know, there's going to be a reckoning. You know, there's going to be a reckoning. I can't. People who have been inaccurately labeled are in a certain group. People who are predatorily going around fucking up people's hairlines, fucking their faces. There's going to be a reckoning. There's definitely going to be a reckoning. So I just want to tell you guys that we're still out here. Nothing has changed at all. Sponsors, we want to thank you so much profusely. You have no idea